what Pokemon sealed products have I been investing in throughout 2024? This has been a long overdue video of showing you guys what I've been picking up throughout 2024. Of course, we're now in 2025, and today we'll be going through everything that I've been picking up, over the past year or so you guys can get an idea of, how much I've paid, how much things are now, and whether or not you want to decide on picking some of these up in the future. Most of these are going to be booster boxes, but there are a few other little products as well that I'll go through. But we'll go through each one of those, and I'm going to talk through my thoughts and everything about that. So let's just jump in and let's go. I've seen a lot of comments and I've received a lot of messages from people going, Jace, how comes you don't show what you've been picking up, like you used to? Back in the day, I used to go through every single month showing, the things that I've been buying. But over the past year, especially throughout 2024, things have been a little bit different, a little bit more difficult on being able to pick up sealed product, mainly because of personal life, situations. The first half of 2024 has been very, very difficult. And it was very, tough in finding, available funds to buy Pokemon product with. I had to make sure that I had enough funds to keep the streams going. And that's pretty much the full extent of how I was able to keep things going. But I didn't really have the available funds to be able to go and buy an absolute ton of product, especially in the first half of 2024, right? It was probably up until around about June, July when I was able to start picking up stuff. So pretty much the release of Twilight Masquerade, that was when I was able to start picking stuff up, and you start churning and burning throughout the year, trying to pick up some products. And of course things are getting more and more expensive towards the end of the year, which again makes things pretty tricky. Even here in the UK, things are getting more and more expensive, and we're seeing that across the board, pretty much across multiple different sets. Now, one thing I will say is, one thing I like to do on this channel is talk to you guys about, good products to pick up, maybe even like, what are the prices and stuff. No matter how much you spend or are available to spend, whether it's each month, every other month, twice a year, it doesn't really matter. Even if you just buy one product at a time, that's absolutely fine. I'm not here spending thousands and thousands of pounds every single month picking up Pokemon product. It's just not realistic, and I don't expect it to be. So today, we're going to be going through what I've been picking up. So let's get into it. Okay, right. So starting things off, you can see some of the sets that I have at the back there, but we're going through some of the other stuff as well of what I have been picking up, over the past 12 months. Like I said, at the start of the year, didn't really pick up anything, right? We had the release of Temporal Forces, which was the first set release. Well, actually, Paldean Fates. Opened up a lot of Paldean Fates, for videos and for content. But as far as like collecting, sealed product, haven't really got a huge amount of Paldean Fates. The only thing I managed to pick up is 2 of the Pokemon Center ETBs. They're in the backdrop. I can't be bothered to go and get them. But 2 of the Pokemon Center ETBs I managed to pick up. Very good. I think now the normal ETBs are going to be pretty good as well. I really enjoy opening up Paldean Fates. I enjoyed Shining Fates, and I really enjoy Hidden Fates. So Paldean Fates is a really good one. You're looking at ETBs here in the UK, maybe like £45-50. And then you're looking at about $80 now over on TCG Player. But the things I have with me here, we'll go through each of them. We'll go starting off. I think a really good one would be Temporal. So Temporal Forces is, one of the first main sets that did come out at the start of 2024. And it is getting expensive. I've kind of championed this set as being one of the dark horses of the era. Now, one thing I tend to go for when I invest in, I like to diversify, right? There's one thing you will see is I like to go pretty much for every single set if possible, and then I go more into the sets which I either prefer or I think will do better in the long run. So for instance, I have more Chilling Rain than I do something like Vivid Voltage, for example, or I may have Brilliant Stars, for instance, than I do Astral Radiance, just because I prefer the set. You may think, it might not be as good. Like I have more Brilliant Stars than I do Lost Origin, for example. So if it's a set I really do like, then I tend to go for more, right? So Temporal, like I said, I didn't pick any up when it came out. I didn't open up the set. I didn't even touch it, really, to be honest. Of course, we were opening them up on the streams, but that was about it. So now I've managed to pick up 4 boxes of Temporal. I'd like to get maybe a couple more. I think that would be fine. Right now, here in the UK, these are going for around about 110 to 115. Of course, on TCG Player, you're looking at like 150. pushing towards 150, I think like 140 maybe. So it is on the rise. Like I say, I think it's an incredible set. I love the cards in the set as well. I've got a couple of the top cards that I went out of my way and bought, but overall I really do rate the set. So this is a good one. I think this will be a good one in the future. I kind of rated it as a middle of the road set, but it is a pretty good one. Next up, we've got a set that came out last year, which is Paradox Rift. Now, I know a lot of people have been championing this set, thinking it's going to be a dark horse. You know, the set is underrated. I like the set. I think it's pretty good, right? It has some really nice cards in it. The Groudon, for instance, I really do like. But yeah, Paradox, I mean, I picked this up because I didn't pick any up last year. I think I bought this for like 100, maybe even less. It might be 95. The Temporal I picked up for 105. This one I picked up for 95 to 100. I can't remember exact. And then I picked up, I think I've got 2 others of this as well, which were probably around the 100 range. I picked them up, I don't know, maybe September last year, August last year, something like that. I think it's a really good one. It's getting more expensive. You know, over here you're looking around about 110 a box. And then over in the US, again, it is making moves. Things like 135 right now. Could there be a restock of this? I think it was done with a restock. There might still be one more coming, but I'm not 100%. With Temporal, that's still relatively new, so I do expect more Temporal to come. Paradox Rift, I still think it's good. I wouldn't say it's like absolutely amazing, but I do think it's a pretty, you know, good one overall. Next, we've got a big product. I don't think we're able to get it on the entire screen, but we have the Terrapagos EX box. Now, this one I rate, right? The Ultra Premium Collection box. I think this is a good one. Just like the Charizard UPC and so on and so forth. I don't think this is as good as the Charizard one, of course, because that is, you know, Charizard and it has Evolving Skies in it. But I do rate this product. It comes with so many booster packs. And it comes with pretty good sets as well, right? I know it doesn't come with Surging Sparks, but it comes with pretty good sets as well. The promos don't look too bad either. And right now, it's relatively cheap. I mean, I managed to pick up 2 of these for 90 each, which I think is a really, really good deal. And like I say, it comes with like 18 packs, good sets as well, you know, nice promos, playmats okay. You know, so it's a pretty decent product. I really like the energies they have in here as well, like the cracked ice hollow energies that you can find in here. So yeah, I've got 2 to keep sealed. I don't tend to go for a lot of UPCs just because they're so big and bulky. I just don't have the room to get that many. I like to just have 2. You know, I have 2 Charizard ones, I have 2 151 UPCs, I have 2 Arceus ones, so I tend to just go for 2. That I'm pretty happy with that. I don't tend to go for much variety of products, you know, more variety of sets. But yeah, these type of products is good. I always say premium is key. And again, in the US, this is cheap. You know, again, you're looking at $90 to $100. I think it's a pretty good one, right? I don't expect it to be absolutely incredible, but it's a nice little pickup. Right, moving on, I actually picked up some Japanese. Now, I don't normally pick up Japanese, but I have been buying quite a bit of Japanese to keep sealed and you know, to stock up on the website as well. So this is just one of them. I haven't grabbed them because a lot of them are just in cases that you know, I'm being honest, I can't. Yeah, I'm not going to go around and go through. But basically, I've picked up Future Flash, Wild Forces, Mask of Change, Night Wanderer, Stellar Miracle. I'm trying to think the Paradise Dragona and the Pikachu one, the Super Electric Breaker or whatever it is. So I picked up a whole bunch of those, a whole bunch of boxes and stuff of those sets. And now the main reason why is they're cheap, right? 1, they're cheap, and 2, Japanese is seeing a bit of a boom right now, mainly because people can't get hold of the English product. English product is getting really, really expensive. People are moving over to Japanese, and then when Japanese starts becoming, you know, harder and harder to get hold of, people then move to Korean or Chinese. Is usually the way it goes, and we've seen that before with a load of other sets in the past. We mainly saw it with 151, when people couldn't get 151 English, people were getting hold of the Japanese, and Japanese ended up getting really expensive. Then people will open up Korean 151, and so on and so forth, right? These are really cheap. I mean, this one in particular, I think is like £30. It doesn't really cost that much. You know, there are a few others as well. Some of them have actually gone up in value quite a bit. Like, for example, Rule of the Black Flame has been doing pretty well. I've been keeping an eye on Japanese. I don't normally, but I've been eyeing up Japanese more and more. And that was one thing I looked at last year, was just the Japanese market as a whole. You know, when we saw what happened with 151, even though it got reprinted so many times, it bounced back so strong. We're looking at over £100 a box again for 151. Insane, right? It went really high. Then it got printed so much, it dropped down to 50, and then it went back up to 80, and then it got reprinted again and dropped back down to 50, and now it's back up to 100. It's an incredibly strong set. And we've seen other sets perform quite strongly as well. That Super Electric Breaker, you know, that set has come out pretty strong. You're looking at around about £55 to £60 a box. It is getting more expensive, so keep that in mind. And of course, you know, towards the end of last year, you know, I love my high class Japanese sets. That's one thing I do like, and that is Terrestrial Festival. This set in particular will be incredible, right, in the future, and it already is doing really well, right? These high class sets typically do well. I mean, Shiny Treasure hasn't done that great, but V-Star Universe is pretty good. VMAX Climax, Shiny Star V, and then of course the Tag Team All-Stars. Terrestrial Festival, I think, will do better than Shiny Treasure, potentially do better than V-Star Universe and VMAX Climax and so on. Reason being is this is basically an Eevee Heroes set, and people love the high class sets. People love Eevee Heroes, and with the craziness that's going on with English right now, people are going to be scrambling for packs. They want to be opening up Eevee and they want to get the Eevee cards. They're going to go for this set, right? Already we're seeing booster boxes here in the UK go for £90 to £100 a box now. They are going up, so keep that in mind, right? They are rising. And the thing is like I was able to pick these up for £45 a piece. I've now ordered more to keep sealed. They are more expensive that I managed to get hold of, but it's just the way it goes. I mean, they're probably going to get reprinted again anyway, and I do expect the price to drop, but it'll bounce back. I think this set is going to be strong, if not stronger than 151. It's going to be a lot harder to master this set because of the Master Balls. The Master Balls also in this set hold much higher value than they do in 151. You know, the Umbreon Master Ball, and even the Umbreon itself, over $300 a piece, is just, you know, really, really good. So yeah, overall, I think Terrestrial Festivals are going to be a good one. Like I say, it's around 90 to 100 at the moment. I have managed to, you know, have a case sealed, so 20, and I've got a bunch of other boxes available. And, you know, we've been doing them on the streams and so on as well. And it's just been a good set. It has been really good. And then moving on to what we got in the back. So we start off with Twilight Masquerade. So of course, Twilight Masquerade, you know, as we know, has had, you know, the Greninja and so on and so forth. It's an incredibly good set. And on top of that, you know, I managed to pick these up for $110 a piece. Over here in the UK, these are relatively cheap. You know, my funds started to become a little bit better and easier to buy product towards the second half of last year. This boomed really quickly, and by the time I was able to pick up some, there wasn't any available, and I had to wait for more restocks to happen, and we had some, and I picked them up for $110. So I'm pretty happy. People didn't care about this set. I mean, I didn't even care about this set when it came out to start with. And we didn't even open that much up on the streams. I didn't pick up that many. I pre-ordered far less of this than most of the other sets because people didn't really care much about Twilight Masquerade. And look at it now. People are chasing this $300 Greninja. You know, the Eevee is incredible. So on and so forth. This set is doing relatively well. And of course, over in the US, this is what, like $170 a box? You know, absolute madness. So for me right now, I picked up these probably in like November of last year, just before Christmas as well. I think I picked up a couple more. So I have 5. I'm getting closer and closer to 6, the ideal 6 I want to get. So at the moment in the UK, you can still pick these up. They're a bit more expensive, maybe pushing that 120 now. But if you can get hold of these for even 120 or less, it's a pretty good deal. You know, I think it's a good one. So Twilight Masquerade, you know, I'm not a huge fan of the set, but, you know, I can't deny how good it is. Then we have Stellar Crown. So, of course, Stellar Crown came out a little bit later. I love this set just because it's got the Dash Bun, and I absolutely love the Dash Bun. I think it's, you know, one of my favorite cards. But actually, in fact, it is my favorite card out of the whole of the Scarlet and Violet era. You know, the single cards in the set aren't great, but the booster box is going up. I mean, I think it's like 140, maybe 150 a box on TCG Player. Here in the UK, it's still like 105, 110. Again, I think Stellar Crown is a good one to get hold of. I've got 3. I don't have a huge amount of this. Like I say, I mean, each month I try to work out how much I spent pretty much over, you know, last year. I would say I've probably spent maybe best part of probably 4 to 5k, maybe roughly, I would say, across the year on seal product. But to be honest, most of it was towards the end of last year. So it was kind of like, you know, squirreling away money. I was able to actually spend a good chunk, right? So you're probably looking at around about, I would say I probably spend about maybe on average 400 to 500 a month if you had to divide it by 12. The thing is you know, you just get what you can get hold of, right? I was accepting the fact that I couldn't be able to afford much for some time. So yeah, it's just getting there, right? It's just a little, you know, slow and steady is what I like to say. And then finally, Surging Sparks, right? Of course, Surging Spark is well, pretty much the top dog, right? It's the top dog of the Scarlet and Violet era right now. What was it, like 250 on TCG Player or more than 250, pushing 300. Over here in the UK, this is getting more expensive, about 150. I know it sounds crazy, right? 250 to 300, and it's only 150 here. There is more stock available of Surging Sparks. A lot of retailers are actually getting Surging Sparks here in the UK. Keep an eye out. They're probably still charging the 145 or 150. I still think it's a very decent price. I pre-ordered quite a lot because I knew this set was going to be like super hyped, and I pre-ordered them at like 105 a box. So I have about 10, 11 boxes for myself. This is the most I have of any of the sets in the Scarlet and Violet era. And yeah, I would still, even now, I would still pick these up for 145, 150 for sure. And I have been, you know, I have been picking them up at 150. You know, we've been opening up a ton of these on the streams. We're going to continue to open up more on the streams. So yeah, overall, Surging Sparks, it's just incredible, right? Even with a reprint comes, it would help us in the UK, I would say, with reprint. Like when the reprint comes, you'll see online retailers sell them for maybe 110, 120. So it will drop, but they might sell out pretty quickly. So keep that in mind. But overall, it's just an incredible product, right? It's just an incredible set, and I highly rate it as well. So those are things that I've been picking up over the past 12 months or so. I'm trying to think if there's anything else. I mean, single cards. I've been picking up a few single cards last year for my collection, especially like certain special illustration rares I didn't get to open as well, and I'll show them in an upcoming video for you guys. So there you have it, guys. That's what I've been picking up. I know it's been a long time, you know, coming. Of course, there's a few stuff in the background. There's a few other bits and bobs that I've picked up, I would say, over the past 12 months. I haven't picked up any Sword and Shield. I mean, yeah, you can see like a Fusion Strike Evolving Skies in the backdrop because it looks nice. But I haven't really picked up much else in the form of Sword and Shield at all in the past 12 months. It's all been focusing on Scarlet and Violet. Sword and Shield's getting really expensive. I'm kind of put off, personally. I think if I'm going to buy anything from Sword and Shield now, if I'm being honest, it'll probably be either Crown Zenith or Battle Stars. That's pretty much it. But yeah, Fusion Strike is really expensive. It's crazy to think that the Fusion Strike, you know, it's one box there. I've got a few others. The Fusion Strike box that I've got is nearly £350 a box, nearly $500. Absolute madness. And, you know, Evolving Skies over 1k a box now here in the UK. Literally 3 weeks ago, it was selling for like 800. So it is just absolute madness across the board. But like I say, you know, it doesn't matter how much you get each month, or either it's every other month or whatever. As long as you're enjoying it, and as long as, you know, you're keeping it sealed, then you're going to do pretty well. That's the key, is not wanting to open up all this product, you know what I mean? Especially the sets I really enjoy opening, like Paldean Fates, for example. It is pretty tough not to try and crack open packs and try and pull that Charizard or the Mew, of course. But yeah, so those are the things. Let me know down in the comments, what are your thoughts on what I've picked up, and how you been doing in your investments? You know, what have you picked up over the past 12 months? What are you looking to pick up in 2025? For me, if I'm being honest, I'm not interested in Prismatic. You know, I've said it in a few videos before, I'm kind of put off with Prismatic. You know, I've got a couple of the Pokemon Center ETBs, and that's pretty much it. I've got some ETBs coming, I know. I don't know whether or not I'm going to keep them sealed, or we're just going to crack them open and, do breaks on the stream. I don't know. We'll have to wait and see. Then the set after that, which is going to be the tag, not the tag team, but the part in the Pokemon Trainer set. I'm not massively excited, if I'm being honest, about that one. Team Rocket, to me, is the one I'm looking forward to. Team Rocket is the one which I'm like, yep, that's what I've been waiting for. That's one of the things I've been talking about on this channel since the channel started, is I would love for them to do a Team Rocket set, and they're finally doing it. So for me, in 2025, I don't know what else is going to be coming, but for me, that is going to be, you know, the set for me this year. But that is it for me in today's video. For more Pokemon content, make sure to click the video on the screen, and of course, make sure to hit that subscribe button. And thank you all so much for watching. As always, you guys are legends, and I'll see you in the next one.